and beat the Polish Eagles for a first ever win at this level. Well, here's a look at today's schedule. Greece take on France. That's a heavyweight clash later on this afternoon before host Finland look to make it 2 from 2 against Slovenia. So everybody's played one game. France are the only other team who are yet to win in Group A. Greece leading the standings after their win over Iceland 2 days ago. It's Iceland against Poland, and I'm pleased to say that I have Mark Mills in the commentary box alongside me. Mark, we were treated to 3 great games on Thursday. This looks like it could be another one to start off game day 2.
Oh, absolutely. This is a huge game for both these teams. They have hope to progress into the knockout rounds in Istanbul. They know they need to come away with the win today. Even though both these teams came away with losses on that opening day, they both acquitted themselves really, really well. Poland proved to be a tough challenge for the highly touted Slovenia, whilst Iceland caused problems for Greece. This is absolutely going to be an interesting contest.
Well, that's absolutely right. Iceland turned quite a few heads in their opening game encounter with Greece. What do you expect from them today?
Now, it's going to be an interesting one. At times, Iceland were really impressive in that opening game. And although they're considerably undersized and they are the smallest team in the group, their speed of their defensive rotation minimised how the negative impact this had. They doubled down on the post, they scrambled hard, and this was a real credit to them and Coach Pedersen. They've got to continue to that today. And the biggest thing I think that's going to make the difference for them to have the chance to win today, they need to improve on only 9% three-point shooting that they had on that opening game.
They absolutely do, and they are going to be roared on by hundreds and hundreds of Icelanders. Rumours are even the president of Iceland is here today to lend his support to the team. Well, let's turn our attention to Mike Taylor's Poland team. They're always well organised. They handed a tough opening game against Slovenia, but they are favourites to rebound here with a win.
Yeah, absolutely. Poland showed some serious offensive threats in that tough opening game against Slovenia. It wasn't until the third quarter that Slovenia were able to pull away. Poland relied heavily on their half-court offense, though, only scoring 7 points in transition. That said, they weren't shy of the points, 81 points including 9 threes. If they perform that way, they should come away with the win today.
There'll be no lack of passion on show this afternoon. Iceland and Poland meeting here in Group A, their second games in the group phase. Will be underway in just a few moments, but first of all, it is the national anthems.
First national anthem of Iceland.
scene perfectly set then for a first ever EuroBasket meeting between Iceland and Poland. Mike Taylor and Craig Pedersen, their two respective head coaches, shake hands. And this is going to be a fantastic occasion. Here are officials this afternoon: Peter Obradovic, Martins Kozlovskis and Alexei Davidov from Bosnia-Herzegovina, Latvia and Russia. Well, let's start with the Icelandic roster here. They performed very admirably in that first game against Greece. The high scorer was Hákon Pálsson. He'll wear the number 24 jersey. Who else will stand out today, Mark?
Well, I think, as you said, Pálsson was absolutely critical to them in the opening game, but one thing for sure, he's going to need support. There was no other player in double-digit scoring, and if they're to knock over Poland, he's going to have to have some help. Looking at the starting five, Beringson has another tough day ahead of him. Tough game against Greece, and it's only going to get tougher defending the multiple big guys that Poland have here. Let's hope he's ready.
Well, you mentioned the big guys, Mark. There's one of them, Przemek Karnowski. He's likely to play a big part today. It could be a mismatch up in the big man roles. Just 3 players on the Icelandic roster are 2 meters or more. Quite a few more in the Polish lineup there. Mateusz Panicka, he's been so influential in both the qualifying phase, and then he started with a bang on Thursday. And he's likely to be key again today, isn't he, Mark? Oh,
absolutely. You'll see an awful lot of the offense go through Panicka's hands, whether that's scoring or just facilitating. But as we said, the big man battle is going to be interesting. Karnowski starts on the bench today, but I think he's going to have a big impact into the game. The interesting one for me is that Coach Taylor is stuck by Kozak as his starting point guard, even though AJ Slaughter had a great opening game with 12 points and 6 assists. So it'll be interesting to see how he manages the time between those 2 players.
Starting five from Team Iceland. Number 1, Martin Henriksson, 8,
sense of anticipation inside the Helsinki arena.
And as we've just said, 2 of the obviously key players in tonight's game. AJ Slaughter, big game against Slovenia to start the tournament, and Pálsson was the absolute backbone of Iceland in their opening contest. Those 2, no doubt, will play important parts for their respective teams in today's game.
Before they can get set on defense, the first time we got to set up, we run 2 sides. Get hungry, you got to come
So Craig Pedersen leading Iceland in their second ever EuroBasket. He took charge in the latter stages of the qualifying campaign back in 2014.
Martin, you're deep.
Helped them to qualification 2 years ago. And the big target is a win.
That's right. That's right.
The ever effervescent Mike Taylor. Always a very positive influence over the Polish roster. And he'll be hoping to mastermind his team to a first win at EuroBasket 2017 here. Poland all set, they take to the court first, followed by Iceland. And there's a lot of experience in the Iceland team. It's largely the same roster that played at EuroBasket 2015 with 1 or 2 additions, most notably the teenager Tryggvi Klinarsson. And he is once again on the bench today, as he was 2 days ago. We saw the effect that the crowd had on Finland in their win over France 2 days ago, and there's an absolute sea of blue in the arena here, and that could well galvanise Iceland to what they hope will be a first ever EuroBasket win. They're all set. Well, good afternoon. Welcome along to Helsinki, Finland. We've got action from Group A throughout the day. We're starting here with Iceland against Poland. And it is the Eagles who win the opening tip. And here's Ponitka out to Aaron Sell. And he just hits the rim with his first shot of the day. And Iceland will bring it forward, hoping for the first score from outside. Drains it. Perfect start for Iceland.
Exactly what Iceland would have seen. An absolute shocking perimeter shooting display from them in their opening game. They'll be very pleased to see that first one drop.
That's right, less than 10% they managed from outside of the arc in that first game. That'll calm the nerves from Pavel Ermolinski. Here's Damian Kulik. And Sell fails to cling on to the pass, and here's Paulsen. What a start this is from Iceland. Paulsen can't make it. And Poland get away with that one. Łukasz Koszarek, big game this for him. And he's blocked off. Good defence from Byrington, who's bravery personified. Hermansen out to the corner. And that's well intercepted by Koszarek.
What a frantic opening phase of play. Both teams so keen to prove themselves and to take control of this game. It's an up and down affair. Interesting to see how long the team can keep this going for. It's certainly not 40 minutes.
This is Wilhelmsen. And he knocks down the two. He was one of the players that stood out 2 days ago, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. His intensity and just the tenacity that he plays on both ends of the floor, I think, is contagious within the Iceland team.
Koszarek loops a pass over to Adam Wacinski for three. And he just left it short. And this has not been the perfect start for Poland.
No, not the start they would have wanted. Obviously an absolutely crucial game for Poland. They will have expectations to make it through to the knockout round in Istanbul. And if that's the case, losing to Ireland is not an option.
And this start has really got the Icelandic fans on their feet, singing. Making quite a racket. Here's Martin Hermansen. Kulik with the initial block, but it does still fall for Wilhelmsen. And now Byrington trying to get his way inside, manages to do that, puts it up and rims out. Rebound taken by Wacinski. Now Koszarek to the front court. Sell into Kulik. He's inside and he throws up a right-hand hook. That doesn't fall. Ponitka tries to follow. And once again, the Iceland defence impresses. Hermansen up off the glass and in.
What a great start for Iceland. They couldn't have dreamed of having such a start. They're controlling the game at both ends. Great little drive to the basket, easy finish off the glass. Poland are going to have to up the tempo on the defensive end.
Kulik. Poland need a score up on the board ASAP. Kulik trying to take on Ermolinski, throws one up and gets the foul. Not that Ermolinski agrees.
It's definitely going to be a strategy of Poland to get the ball into the post, give their big man some time to back down the undersized Icelandic players. Barrington's played well so far. He knows that he can't get into foul trouble. He knows he's going to have a 30-minute plus game today, so he needs to steer clear of fouls.
First trip to the line then today for Damian Kulik, who's had a fine season in the Turkish league with Banvit and in the Basketball Champions League. Got to the final. But he had a quiet day on Thursday. But he starts with 2 from 2 from the line. Ermolinski. All the way on his own. Backs it up and in off the glass.
Poland are making it way too easy for Iceland to score at the moment. They're going to have to tighten their defense up.
Koszarek. Wacinski, fast pass into Sell, goes inside out, now to the corner. Ponitka comes in, lost possession. Wacinski wins it back, shot clock down to 2, and it's turned over. This frenetic start is playing into Iceland's hands.
The Icelandic fans straight up onto their feet now. They absolutely feel the wind behind their team.
Hermansen. Sense it might not be long until we see AJ Slaughter on the court after his influence off the bench.
It's an interesting one. You can see the poles are rattled so far. What would have been an easy shot for Panicka in the corner, he didn't take, and that's what led to this turnover play with great tenacity from Hermansson. Yeah, the Polish side looking a little bit rattled.
Well, the body language from Koszarek there was anything but encouraging. They can just settle down here, get some rhythm. Panicka. He's had a strewn start, but he's found Koszarek. Now Sell. Inside out, top of the mountain. Koszarek, good!
Big shot by Koszarek, and a very key play there as well. It showed what Poland need to do. They need to get that drive to the basket, make the Icelandic defense collapse so the perimeter opens up for their shot.
Byrington to Halkor Palsin. Tough shot, nearly made it. And Panicka mops up the rebound. Fast transition play from Poland. Koszarek finds Wycinski, who gets on the runway and backs it in. And Poland closing the gap. It's a one-point game now. Wilhelmsson to Martin Hermansson. Comes round the back and floats in a little teardrop.
Great player, Hermansson, uses the baseline well, sees the defender coming across, just elevates enough, gets the ball high enough over the fingertips.
Panicka. Midway through the first quarter, Iceland lead by 3. Kulik tries to get the better of Paulsen. Won't quite fall for him. And Ermolinski all the way. Oh, what a block by Kulik.
Ermolinski out of control, Kulik taking advantage.
Koszarek for 3. Hits the iron, but followed up by Mateusz Panicka. First score of the day for Panicka, who managed more than 20 in their game against Slovenia on Thursday. Palsin, nice fake, puts it up, leaves it short. And Poland now are starting to find something to grab hold of. Koszarek.
Such a pace in this game so far. It's been played at breakneck speed.
Wycinski could pass to Kulik, and that's his bread and butter.
The front court players of Poland, the likes of Kulik and Kanowski, are going to cause Iceland issues for the entire game.
Poland getting ready to make their first changes. In the meantime, here's Slynor Byrington. Ran into his own man, and there's a bit of a mismatch here. Panicka to Wycinski from distance. It's Poland that are struggling from outside of the perimeter at the moment.
Smart play by Hermansson. Change of direction, using the advantage that he has. He has the speed advantage. Using it to its fullest to draw the foul.
First changes then. Christopher Acox on for Iceland. This was the block from Damian Kulik a moment ago. Great rejection. Przemysław Zamoyski and AJ Slaughter into the fray for Poland. Stephenson, first time today with the effort.
Didn't see much of Kozovac and Slaughter on the court at the same time. Interesting to run 2 point guards.
Yeah, it's Panicka that's got off, actually. Slaughter. Koszarek. Slaughter with the shot clock trickling down. And it's a violation, and that will switch the possession over to Iceland.
Really no option there for Slaughter, left with the ball with no time on the shot clock. Had a little shake to try and find some space, but couldn't find any. Always going to be difficult to have your first shot a fall away 3.
Martin Hermansson. Featured into Pavel Ermolinski. Now Stephenson. Paulsen back to Hermansen from the perimeter. That's the first three-point attempt they've had today. Slaughter. Slaughter. Hits the iron. Poland have a one-point lead.
Coach Taylor won't be happy to see Slaughter come on and shoot 2 threes as his opening 2 attempts. He wants to get him to the basket.
Stephenson can't find a route out of trouble, but eventually calls on the services of Pavel Ermolinski. Ermolinski running into Kulig. And it's a little bit scrappy. And there's a shot clock violation, and Poland like it.
That turnover was more down to Iceland not having an offense in mind while they were setting up, more than Poland's tenacity on the defensive end. That was Iceland's inadequacy.
So the young guns coming on here. Trygve Hlanarsson for Iceland. Tomasz Gielo and Przemek Karnowski for the Poles.
Now that's going to be an interesting battle. Hlanarsson versus Karnowski.
It'll be fascinating. Slaughter into Gielo initially, now Karnowski taking on Hlanarsson. A left-hand hook, and it's a perfect start for Przemek Karnowski.
Today's game could be an absolute field day for Karnowski. Not sure Iceland have the personnel to defend a body that size.
Stephenson, long 2 attempted, just left it short. And Koszarek quick in transition. Give and go with Karnowski for Zamoyski. He misses the 3. And Hermansen brings it to the front court for Iceland. It's been a breathless first quarter. There's just over a minute left of it. Hlanarsson, quick fire pass to Hermansen. And gets it to go.
That is a great pass out of the low post by Hlanarsson. Someone of such a young age having the vision to see that pass out.
Karnowski. And asking just a little too much of Przemysław Zamoyski there.
As expected, Iceland continuing with the defensive ploy. Whenever the ball's going into the post, they know that's their weakness. They're going to double across on the big man. Karnowski can expect numerous double teams. He did the right thing, getting out the post, just a little bit loose on the pass.
Another change in the guards for Poland. Sokolowski on, Koszarek off. Stephenson in the meantime puts it up and in, and propels Iceland into the lead again. Slaughter all the way, back outside to Gielo, good!
And that is exactly what Slaughter brings to the Polish team. It's that quick penetration. It forces Iceland to collapse. The Polish shooters can spot up on the perimeter and get the open 3.
Hermansen, not much of a differential here between the shot clock and the quarter clock. He's biding his time. Sort of trying to hurry him. Hermansen, shot clock's got it. Well, in the end, it was too slow. And that ends the quarter.
Just a quick clarification with the referees. I don't think it does end the quarter. I'm just waiting to see. It looks like they're going to put some time back on the clock, because obviously the ball went out of bounds, and they're just seeing when it went out of bounds to put enough time back on the clock.
You're absolutely right, Mark. They're going to come back out here. But there is going to be almost no time for Poland to get a shot off here.
What they'll look to do, I imagine it will be a baseball pass. He'll throw it up towards the basket and look to try and get someone almost to tap it in or catch in midair and take the shot at the same time. Really no. Oh no, they've moved it up to a second, so they do have the ability now to catch and shoot.
But it'll be Zamoyski to inbound, goes for Slaughter, tries his effort from way downtown. It wasn't to be, but Poland in the end will be satisfied to be in the lead at the end of the first quarter. 16-40. Well, what a first quarter that was, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. A back and forth affair. Iceland starting off the better, but Poland coming back into it. Interesting stats you look at there. 0 from 1 for Iceland from outside. Are they saying we can't shoot the three, so we're not going to shoot the three? And also interesting to see they've not got to the free throw line either, so they've not got inside enough and forced Poland to foul them to get the easy shots from the charity stripe.
There were very few fouls in that first quarter. It really is interesting, that three-point statistic. 2 from 23 they were against Greece from the perimeter, and it looks like just taking that out of the equation.
The interesting thing for me as well is looking, obviously, Poland have identified where the offensive threat's going to come from Iceland with Paulsen yet to score. And you saw how they're going to play him. They're denying him the ball. They're chasing him down. They're working so hard to make sure that he has very little contact with the ball. And so far it's worked. Iceland don't have a focal point to their offense. And that was something they relied on in their first game here at EuroBasket.
Yeah, the two players that led the scoring in their first games at EuroBasket 2017 have been quiet. Panitka for Poland, just the 2 points as well.
It's sometimes the case, so you can take people by surprise in that first game.
Hermansen to the front court. Looks for the screen from Hermansen and go to the basket himself. Nicely played. Got the foul. Kowalski doesn't like it.
Great pick and roll play then. Klanarsson setting a screen up high. Just needs to be a little bit careful. He moved a bit too soon off the screen. Could get called for the offensive foul if he's not stationary when the defender plows into him.
The story of Tryggvi Klanarsson is a fascinating one. He didn't play any basketball until just over 3 years ago, and it's been a rapid rise to the top. Grew up in a remote part of the country. Here he is, wearing the national colours at EuroBasket 2017 and leading them in the front court. Good free throw shooting from Iceland.
It's interesting to see smallest player on the court, Hermansen, leading all scorers with 7.
This is Zamoyski, finds Karnowski, and he's called for charging.
That's going to be a lesson that Karnowski's going to learn an awful lot. Just signing his first pro contract in ACB after leaving Gonzaga in NCAA Division 1. A big lesson to learn in college basketball. He will be used to going up against guys the same size as him. In European basketball, they're different frames and they'll use their bodies to show the referees how much contact Karnowski's putting on them. He'll need to learn that lesson and he'll need to learn it fast.
Well, apart from Klanarsson, there isn't anyone really the same size as Karnowski in the Icelandic roster.
I'm not sure there's many people the same size as Karnowski in Iceland.
Iceland trying to heap the pressure on Poland then here. Inbound from Wilhelmsen, and he gets it back from Paulsen. Now trying to escape the attentions of Giello, gets into the lane. Tricky pass, managed it. Klanarsson into Stephenson. Couldn't quite work the angles. And Slaughter is fouled.
Poland just look a lot more comfortable and more confident when Slaughter's got the ball in their hands. I know he's dynamic, he's trying to make things happen, and he's trying to change the Icelandic defense.
Slaughter opens his account for the afternoon.
Shot 75% from the line in the first game.
A perfect start in this one. Another change at centre for Iceland. Klanarsson takes a seat and Byrington replaces him. Polshin throws away possession. It's a turnover. And it's played out to Michał Sokolowski. He misses, but the rebound grabbed by Ermolinski. Nicely worked by Iceland in transition, and they get the foul.
That's always a touch and go one as well. The speed of the movement of the play as Iceland on the transition, and Vilhelmsson goes strong. I've seen unsportsmanlike fouls given for less than that. A little bit excessive on the force, but Poland get away with it.
Perfect start for Order Vilhelmsson. Made both of his shots from the field. And he's 2 from 2 from the free throw line as well. Iceland back to within 1. Sokolowski for Poland. Slorcher looking to find his groove on. But just as I say that, he passes the ball straight to Iceland, and they talked before the game about wanting to stop the turnovers, but this has been a problem again for Poland.
Yeah, absolutely it has, and it's an even bigger problem when you have unsportsmanlike fouls called now. Miscommunication now between Slaughter and Hratsaniak leads to this situation. It's a tough call on Zamoyski. Just get caught up with the player, but the referees have no choice. If a player's out in transition and you have none of your teammates ahead of him, they're always going to call an unsportsmanlike foul. Interestingly enough as well, that was the 8th personal foul called against Poland, whereas Iceland have only picked up 2.
Any further fouls will also result in the trip to the line. Here's Stephenson to Byrington. And now Polshin taking on Giello. Got into the lane, but couldn't find the finish.
That's great work by Byrington. He's undersized in every battle he gets into, but it's just not phases him. Focuses fully on the ball and just goes after it. Boxes out and bullies Hratsaniak, really.
Took quite a few hits from the big Greeks 2 days ago. Up against Barousis and Printezis. Never one to shirk away or shy away from confrontation on the court. Two minutes into the second quarter, we've got a level game here. This is Tomasz Giello. Sokolowski. And here's Przemysław Zamoyski. Ooh, takes a tumble, and where will the ball break to? It will break to AJ Slaughter from downtown.
Points to the crowd as he drains the buzzer-beating 3. Beautiful play by Slaughter, composure as the clock runs down.
Wilhelmsson to Stephenson. He looks to respond with a 3 of his own. Slaughter's lost it here, and it's going to be costly. No. Well, it might still be. Travelling called in the end. And Poland get away with one.
Always difficult for the likes of Gunnarsson. He's brought really onto the court as a defensive specialist. He's chasing down and harassing the opposing point guard, in this case Slaughter. Not really an offensive-minded player at all. Struggled in the opening game to hit shots, and obviously struggled to convert the easy layup there.
Adam Waczynski reintroduced into the game. Slaughter to Waczynski. Waczynski going in a roundabout way up to the basket. Up for Slaughter, shot clock down to 5. Oh, he found a way through on the runway and puts it up and in.
Slaughter picking up where he left off now. He's up to 7 points.
Good couple of moments for AJ Slaughter there. Byrington to Jean-Arne Stephenson. He too tries to squeeze through the eye of the needle. Timeout called then First of the afternoon, and it's been called by Iceland.
Sensible move by Coach Pedersen there. 5-point gap, you really don't want to see it go out further than that. And the turnover situation is going to start to worry both coaches. We've seen it in this tournament so far that turnovers, you know, of course, a serious issue for most teams. He'll want to make sure his team are aware. We need to protect the ball, we need to protect our possessions and make sure that we make all of them count.
And the post-game press conference 2 days ago, Mike Taylor and Przemek Karnowski both identified turnovers as an area they want to improve as a team. There were near enough 20 of them, I think, in the game against Slovenia. 6 so far. So we're not yet midway through the second quarter.
Cut hard, and then at beast, bang, pin in Adam on the backside. Now listen, after this, 15 Miami, 15 Miami.
Remind if you want to catch the post-game press conferences, you can do so. Just download the EuroBasket 2017 app. And you can follow all of the action, catch the highlights on social media across Twitter and Facebook. Use the hashtag EuroBasket 2017. So Poland leading by 5. Where's this one going to end up by half-time? It's Slaughter. Kaczynski. Foul called on Poulsen. His first foul, only the 3rd team foul of the game.
And that's really critical to Iceland. They can't afford to have their key players spending time on the bench because of foul trouble.
Slaughter out to Giello. Kaczynski gets inside, shot clock down to its dregs, and he's fouled again. And it's Poulsen again.
Absolutely sensible play there by Poland. Hratsaniak coming up to the top to set the screen, but it's almost like a fake screen. He's just popping and bouncing back down into the lane, forcing Iceland to switch. Wilhelmsson left guarding the much bigger Hratsaniak. If they continue to do that, Iceland will have to work on how they're switching on the defensive end.
If there's one player they don't want in any kind of foul trouble, it is surely Alko Poulsen.
I'd imagine they've now changed the defensive assignments, moving Poulsen away from the offensive threats that Poland have.
Poland showing how it's done from the line. Flawless record so far. Wilhelmsson. To Poulsen. Now Byrington from the perimeter. Drains it!
That's a huge shot from the veteran player. We know he has it in the locker. We didn't get to see it on opening game.
First three-pointer of the night for Iceland. Slaughter finds Adam Hratsaniak. Oh, and Panikka's just wide open there, and the Iceland defense was MIA.
As much as Hermansen doesn't want to do it, he has to rotate down and get inside Panikka on that situation. If they're doubling down on the low post, the weak side guard has to float down. He has to come inside the offensive player.
That's a lovely pass to Byrington. Gets the score and one.
Beautiful play by Iceland there. Took their time, patience on the perimeter with the ball, making sure that the passing angle was right, and the Byrington had it locked in. And he gets the 2.
Byrington's come to the party here. His primary responsibility against Greece seemed to be defensive, but he's got 5 points here and a chance to add another. Back to a three-point game. Iceland staying well in the contest. Kaczynski Gets inside, rotates. Put up a left-hander. And now Kulik, he's back into the fray. Kaczynski. Takes the foul.
Kaczynski has bought that one off the officials. That's a tough call for Barrington to take. He's just stood his ground, really. It's tough to see what you can do as a player. All you can do is take the flop yourself. So that's a tough call for Barrington to take and the Icelandic team to take. Thankfully, it's only his first, so it doesn't have a huge impact on him.
That's angered the Icelandic contingent of supporters who have come in there thousands this afternoon. All seated together, all in a sea of blue. On the same day that the Icelandic football team is also in Finland. And apparently a train has been arranged for them to get to the game in Tampere. Committed sports fans, the Icelanders. Paulsen, good pass. Hermansen comes inside, but seems short of options ahead of him. Hermansen going it alone, and can't get it to full. And Ponik gets the rebound.
Just having to force that shot, Hermansen. That wasn't a natural, organic, open shot created from their offense.
Slaughter to Ponik. Going to take on Paulsen. Foul called on Paulsen again, and now this is slightly worrying for Iceland. Surely you're going to be taken out of the firing line now.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly as he's just also had a final warning for an official with regards to complaining. Official making it very clear if they hear any more from you, it's going to be a technical foul. I'm surprised they're leaving Paulsen in. 3 fouls, such an important player. I think they might be bringing Wilhelmsson in instead. Yeah, they are. A sensible move by Coach Pedersen. Save him for the more critical second half.
There's only 1 foul from Iceland in the whole first quarter. So it's changed quite a lot in this second one.
Poland have definitely made their size advantage count more in this second quarter.
Ten out of 10 from the free throw line for the Polish team. Stefansson to Hermansen. Looking for a pass that didn't really look on. A little touch, didn't it, off a Polish player? And it'll be an Icelandic possession. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Wilhelmsson will inbound. And he's found Stefansson. Back out, Wilhelmsson up against Kulik. That was a tough one. And Poland's defence here looking more comfortable as the quarter goes on. Slaughter slaps a pass to Kaczynski. Moved it around quickly now to Ponik. Kaczynski for 3. Drains it! And it's a double-digit lead for Poland for the first time today. And the response, predictably, is a timeout for Iceland. What's Craig Pedersen going to say or try and do now?
It's a really tough situation to be in because an awful lot of what's happening on their defensive end is down to the size disadvantage they're at. They're having to rotate away when they don't really want to. They're being left with Hermansen picking up. Somebody wants to post him up. They're having to rotate quickly to stop that from happening. When that happens, you're going to give up space on the perimeter because as people are moving defensive assignments, that space is inevitable.
Poland on a run of 7-0. Now Craig Pedersen really needs to keep his team within touching distance by half-time. AJ Slaughter's really starting to come to the party today. He's quite responsible for that high bench score. 7 from the bench for Slaughter.
No, Slaughter's absolutely staking another claim to that starting guard spot for Poland with the performance he's had today. But all round, Poland seem to be clicking a little bit more than they did in the opening game. Iceland will now be very, very keen to make sure this lead doesn't extend, and if anything, try and bring it down considerably before the half-time break.
Here's Pavel Ermolinski to Jonas Stephenson. Stuck in traffic, so he went back outside. And Wilhelmsen drains the 3.
Great shot by Wilhelmsen. Exactly what they needed. Put some confidence back into the team. Ermolinski worked well getting open and passing off to Wilhelmsen for the triple.
They've already hit 2 threes, as many as they did in the whole game against Greece. So that's promising. Move that quickly, Ponica up the baseline. And Kulik responds. Quick reactions from Damian Kulik. And trouble for Pavel Ermolinski, fell nastily.
Looks like he might be winded. Someone the size of Panitka runs into you, or it might be actually a low blow with the knee from Panitka, completely accidental. But no wonder it's left him a little bit winded.
Just walking it off by the looks of things. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the knee of Mateusz Panitka there that caught him right in the midriff. Kulik to add the extra. It's one area that they are dominating is from the free throw line. 11 out of 11, 5 from 9 for Iceland. Getting the basics sorted, and here's Panitka going coast to coast.
That was great defense there by Wilhelmsen.
Good pass, and Kulik initially got the block in.
And that's what Wilhelmsen brings you. Not only is he working hard on the defensive end, he's getting out in transition faster and harder than any of the defending Polish players. Making himself a nuisance, couldn't quite get the clean steal.
Well, this is quite a scene here. The Icelandic clap. Something they've made famous across various sports in recent years. And quite intimidating when you're lining up to take a free throw. Hence the first miss from Łukasz Koszarek. Does make the second. What a sight. It's EuroBasket 2017, folks, and Iceland are lighting it up. On and off the court.
They'll be hoping that inspires their team to get back into this one.
It's a very proud country. Just over 330,000 population. And 1% of that are in Finland this weekend. A few scrappy moments like this in the game.
Oh, there absolutely has, but it just shows how important this game is. Both these teams entered, obviously, off a losing start to the tournament. Both of them know they don't want to go 0-2, and every possession will count.
Here's Koszarek. Poland more to end this half strongly. Waiting for a pass. Didn't seem to be on, but now it is. Giello throws up a hook. It won't drop for him. Timeout called by Poland this time. Mike Taylor's got a message he wants to communicate.
Interesting that Coach Taylor would want to call a timeout. His team seeming in the ascendancy. Surprised he wants to break that momentum. Obviously, he has something important he wants to get across it for the final 90 seconds of this first half.
Shows their dominance at the boards, really. We thought that would be the case. The height difference, the quality they've got in the big man roles of Karnovsky, Saniak, and of course Damian Kulik, who's on 7 points.
Watch what happens. Mateus, let these guys cut first.
There's actually Ponika, who's the highest number of balls, 6 in total.
Hey, dribble out, Yon, you're coming. You're looping it. Lenny, pop out, back door, Yon, you can coming. Pavel, go early so we have the law play. Keep being aggressive.
Just a replay there of Wilhelmsen's big shot and the appreciation from the Icelandic fans. Wilhelmsen absolutely brings a different dimension to the Icelandic team. Just the attitude he approaches the game with, it's something that I think really is the glue of the Icelandic squad.
Well, he's in double digits, the only player on the court to have crossed that line. He plays a very exciting brand of basketball. Not afraid to try occasionally very unusual things. Here's Łukasz Koszarek. Kulik spotted Giello in a little bit of space. And Koszarek following up. He can't get it to full. And that's why Poland are getting so many second chance points, isn't it? Kulik obviously a lot taller than quite a few of the Icelandic players, but also so hungry for the ball. Giello will inbound here for the Białe Czerwone. Koszarek, lovely little bounce pass into Kulik, but there's no route to the rack.
Great play by Stephenson, a huge block. Unfortunately, Berington took on a little bit too much and has travelled, but that's great defensive work by Stephenson.
Quite a force to stop Damian Kulik. Into the final minute then of the first half. Iceland wanting to close the gap. Poland looking for a double-digit lead to take into the break.
Shows how hard the players are working, just having to wipe some of the moisture off the ball to make sure it's a bit more grippy for the guys on court.
Ponika inbounds to Giello. Now Koszarek. Giello to go inside himself, goes out to Adam Waczynski. Oh, that's glorious from Waczynski.
Beautiful ball movement there from the Polish side, moving the ball so beautifully from the strong side to the weak side, moving it quick enough that there's space for Waczynski to get off the big three.
The captain goes into double digits with that. Here's Byrington down the other end. Giello grabs the board. Koszarek weighs up the options in front of him. Again, we've got a very small differential between shot clock and the time left in the quarter. Koszarek to Kulik. Left a little short, the follow's not on. And Poland don't get to increase their lead, but frankly, they will be happy. Mike Taylor applauds his men off the court. They lead by 12 going into half-time. It's Poland 41, Iceland 29.
It's certainly been an impressive first half from Poland. Coach Taylor there, although he's not showing it, he'll be a happy man going back into the locker room with his team. And again, some interesting stats from there. Poland obviously shooting well from the perimeter and exceptionally well from the free-throw line, neither of which can be said for Iceland. And really, I think that is the difference in the game so far. The rebounding battle, as expected, is being dominated by Poland. But Iceland are still working hard. 4 steals. They're trying to apply some pressure on Poland when they're on the ball. But they really are going to have to change things up on the battle of the boards.
And Poland will be a little bit happier with that turnover number at half-time. Just the 6 in the end, rather than the 10 or 11 it was against Slovenia.
And the majority of them were unforced turnovers as well. That's something to be happy with. They're not just mistakes they're making. They're at least turnovers that are being forced upon them. But ultimately, a strong first half by Poland. Iceland really will have to make some changes in this second half.
Well, it's been a thrilling first half of action again in Group A of EuroBasket 2017. The halftime score: Poland 41, Iceland 29. We'll leave you with some highlights, and we'll be back in a few minutes to bring you the third and fourth quarters of this Group A clash.
niiden rakentamiseen laitteilla ja liittimillä. Mutta vasta sinun käsissäsi ne heräävät kenelle. Sinä päätät, mihin niitä käytät. Puhutko päälle vai kuunteletko? Haluatko vai osaatko kannustaa? Pidätkö yhteyttä, vaikka toinen on kaukana? Yhteydet tuovat meidät lähemmäksi toisiamme. Käytetään niitä hyvää. Niin hyvää seuraa. Löydä uusi yhteys.
Tuntuu tosi vapauttavalta, että siinä voi unohtaa kaiken. Keskittyy vaan siihen ja se on tosi kivaa. Murheet ja kaikki vaan lähtee pois siitä. Sellainen fiilis, minkä haluat tuntea aina.
Uusi johtajuus on saapunut. Se ei käytä valtaa, vaan uskoo kykyyn luoda uutta. Se näyttää tietä, eikä jätä ketään jälkeen. Jos tulee hätä? Ei. Nythän lämmö. Uusi Insignia. Johtavaa teknologiaa jokaiselle. Open. The future is anthems. Koe täysin uusi Insignia Sports. Tervetuloa hoidettamaan.
And if you've gone to put your attention to the jumbo screen, you can see the highlights of this competition.
He's talking to Mark in the screen. Doesn't use it. Looks to go round. He's almost lost the ball though. Trying to weave it play. Can he get it to go? Yes, he can!
Well, welcome back to the Helsinki Arena here in Finland. We've got Group A action for you between Poland and Iceland. Adam Wyszynski, the number 12, has 12 points. He's leading the scoring here in this first game of game day 2 in Helsinki. And 12 is an important number at the moment because 12 is exactly the lead that Poland hold over Iceland. Order Wilhelmsson with 11 points for Iceland has kept them in this game. Mark Mills, how do you see this second half go?
Well, it's absolutely for Iceland to make a move. Poland, I'm sure Coach Taylor's words were effectively, same again please. It's down to Coach Pedersen to get his troops in line and make sure that something changes. At the moment, they are struggling so much more today than they did in their first game against Greece to contain the inside threat. Poland have seemed to make it work an awful lot harder in this game for Iceland. Iceland's rotations haven't been as quick, they haven't been as slick, and on the offensive end, they've not found those interior scores that they found against the Greeks. So it really is, ball is in Iceland's court, they've got to make a move, they've got to make something happen.
Transition, drag, get, be ready to go into summer.
Very much so. Do you think we'll see a change of personnel from Iceland in this second half? They have only managed 2 points from the bench. They haven't changed things up in the same way that Poland have.
No, absolutely not. They run a very short rotation, so they've only really rotated 6 players in. That's going to cost them, not just today, because they've got back-to-back games now. So they've got their game tomorrow against France. Do they want to be running a 6-man rotation when you're playing back-to-back games? That's tough. And you'll start seeing the effects of that rotation later in the game today.
Whether you're going to go back door or come and get it yourself.
Speaking of tomorrow's games, Poland really know that, but this weekend is massive for them if they're going to qualify for the last 16 phase in Istanbul. They targeted this game as certainly one win. The likelihood is you need at least 2 wins to get you through to the last 16. Tomorrow they face the hosts, Finland. That'll be some occasion.
Yeah, that's an absolutely massive game for the Poles, without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, their run-in is as tough as it comes now. So Finland followed by France, followed by Greece. Poland know that it's a big ask, but they're confident they can do it.
Well, first of all, they've got to get the job done here this afternoon, and it's not going to be easy against this dynamic and now experienced Icelandic team. We are back underway in the second half. Iceland in the blue, Poland in the white. And straight away, Hermansen for 3. Leaves a little short. And maybe we're going to see a little more outside shooting. Pornicka was fouled by Stephenson.
Not the start Coach Pedersen would have wanted for Iceland. An easy interior pass. Stephenson losing his assignment as Pornicka cuts on the back door.
More than 90% of their free throws in the first half were successful, and that is a perfect start from most influential player perhaps in this Polish roster, Mateusz Pornicka.
Oh, absolutely. He had a huge game on opening night, and now he's building towards another one. 8.7 rebounds in 12 minutes of action.
Could well be on for a double-double. Here is Poulsen, now Hermansen into the lane and puts it up and in.
And this is where Iceland need to go. That's what they need to be looking to do. It's no surprise that Hermansen's now up to 9 points. Very, very small player, very undersized, but he's finding the lane and getting to the bucket for the easy scores.
Good athletic play from Hermansen there. It's a good take, awkward one for Pornicka. Just to find Koszarek, and Kulig can't quite find the angle to finish. Poulsen shrugs off Koszarek, but the ball's gone out of bounds off Wilhelmsen.
That's a bad pass by Poulsen. He is not having the game he'd like. A 1 point, 1 rebound, 1 assist and 3 personal fouls. Pretty much the mirror opposite of his game from the opening night. He'll be hoping for a much better second half.
He certainly will. Kaczynski to Pornicka. You know that Iceland have got great quality in them. They put Greece to the sword in the second quarter in their game 2 days ago. And how about that from Wilhelmsen? When he gets going, he is very difficult to stop.
I think Wilhelmsen's going to play a pivotal role if Iceland are going to come back into this game.
He's 5 from 6 from the field. He's already up to 13 points, the game high. Here's Koszarek, nice little jumper. And that restores the 12-point lead for Poland that they held at half-time. Order Wilhelmsen to Alko Poulsen. Now Martin Hermansen driving into the lane. See the frustration. He was fouled in the process.
I can absolutely understand the frustration that he's found in that, but the reason the referee hasn't called a contact is he's not drawing it strong enough. So you watch the other, more experienced point guards, like Dragic, they're driving into the player, drawing the contact, making sure that the referee has no choice but to call the foul.
Wilhelmsen will inbound here for the Icelanders to Byrington. They can go on a little scoring run here and get the crowd behind them again. That will certainly help their cause. Hermansen puts one up.
That's much better structure on the Icelandic offense, though. They need to stick to that process that they're going through to get their shots.
Košarek, Kulig starts to get up ahead of steam, but the left-hand hook misses.
Stephenson there, unforced error, grab the rebound and just drops it out of bounds. Not what Iceland need if they're to break back into this game.
Yeah, they've got to cut out the errors and play a near-on perfect game. Here's Aaron Sell. Kulig trying to combine neatly there with Mateusz Ponitka, but the Polish number 9 just couldn't quite gather the ball.
It's one of those situations where I think Ponitka's mind was already on how hard he was going to dunk the ball before he'd even caught it. Out of bounds, off his hands.
Byrington to Paulsen. Passes into Paulsen, a little jumper to long range. Kulig with another rebound. Sell, good turn, and gets up to the rack and puts it in. So cool.
Now, if Iceland are going to play that kind of defense with Wilhelmsen gambling, there needs to be communication so the weak side steps around and provides some safety for him in that situation.
Here's Byrington, goes outside, Wilhelmsen for 3. This is the iron. And they're trying more from range now, but they're having success with it in the second half just yet. Ponitka, Waczynski, the captain. Back out to Łukasz Košarek. Shot clock down to 5, got to be used quickly. Košarek from range. Ponitka almost claims it back, does manage to, somehow. Bounce pass into Košarek, back out to Kulig. Doesn't usually shoot from range. That's a great pass to Kulig. Ponitka follows. It still won't drop for Poland. And Iceland get it to their front court with Wilhelmsen, Paulsen. Turns, shoots, and sees it come back off the rim.
You get that feeling that Paulsen is now trying to force it a little bit too much, trying to make things happen rather than letting them naturally happen. He wants to force his way back into this game for Iceland. Not sure that's what they need from Paulsen at the moment as a team.
We said Iceland would have to look to their bench for some points. They're going to trust the teenager, Tryggvi Hlinarsson. He's come on for Byrington. Pavel Ermolinski is on for John Arne Stephenson. Košarek to Sell, onto Ponitka. Waczynski to Sell, turns, left-hand hook, drains it.
When you're an undersized team, you really can't allow the opponent's bigs to establish themselves that low in the post. You have to force them out before they receive the ball.
Ermolinski, a little bit of space. Oh, but what a block. Sell came in from nowhere. Ball remains in Icelandic possession, of course, but this is good work from Aaron Sell.
Yeah, it's a great chase down. It's great to see that. As a teammate, that's the kind of thing you love.
Poland look pumped. It's Ermolinski, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Got to get the shot away here, and think it was a little late from Wilhelmsen, and the officials agree. Koszarek being hurried by Wilhelmsen. Kaczynski to Kulik. Goes for three. Not quite full for him. The ball falls loose, and Wilhelmsen's there to claim it. Iceland are going to make a move. They need to do so soon. Hinasin. Wilhelmsen. Oh, lovely bounce pass. Hermansen can't quite finish the job. Great vision.
Iceland have got to make sure that they finish those easy baskets when they're gifted to them like that.
Koszarek to Sell. This is from range, and it's good. All smiles in the Poland camp as Aaron Sell hits one from the perimeter. Hermansen. Ermolinski, little fake to get past Wyszynski, and draws the foul.
I'm hoping Coach Pedersen keeps Klanassen on for a longer spell than he has previously. At this situation, you're a 19-point deficit. What do you have to lose? One, the young player's going to get a great experience and benefit massively from that. And two, you're going to get some rim protection on the defensive end, and you are actually going to grab more offensive rebounds. He might not be the offensive threat of the finished product, but I think it's a great time for him to gain some minutes.
In the meantime, AJ Slaughter joins the game for the first time in the third quarter. And we haven't seen much of Przemek Karnowski, who has played just the 2 minutes, but he's on now, and Kulik takes a seat. Bonica. Icelandic support, unrelenting. Slaughter for three. Offensive rebound snatched up by Klinassen. That's a good pass. Hermansen sets himself. Oh, and drains the three.
Just what the doctor ordered for Iceland. They need to start getting some momentum now. Nice pass by Paulsen. Wide open Hermansen. Someone lost their assignment on the defensive end for Poland. It's interesting to see Coach Taylor's move. I have a feeling that there's no coincidence that Klinassen's and Karnowski's minutes are almost mirroring one another. Coach Taylor, I think, sees Karnowski as having the ability to completely diffuse any threat that Klinassen can pose.
Very good point, Mark. Here's AJ Slaughter. Poland have just brought on Przemysław Zamoyski, and there he is on the ball. To Sell, to Slaughter now.
Iceland slipping into a zone defense.
Wyszynski shrugs off Ermolinski, but was fouled anyway.
Great identification there by Poland of the defensive switch by Iceland into a zone. The zone defense will help Iceland on the boards, should open up the perimeter. But the key there that you see in that replay was Sell coming up and setting the inside screen on the top man, opens up the lane at the top. Really, that kind of zone defense will struggle if that top man can't get around that screen.
And march on from the free throw line. Wyszynski's led the way. He's 5 from 5 from the line. Flawless. 16 out of 17 free throws made now for Poland. Stefansson. Used to be climbing with real intention there up to the rack, but he was stopped in his tracks. And now here's Wyszynski to Przemek Karnowski. And the big Mamba puts up a left-hand hook, but misses altogether. Ermolinski outside. Quick ball from Iceland. It's worked out nicely. That was out the back door, and Ermolinski with a wide-open three kisses the rim.
Good ball movement by Iceland, but again, their outside shooting lets them down. Only shooting 27% from the perimeter.
Zamoyski can't get the bank shot to full, but who's there on the rebound but Przemek Karnowski. Stephenson. Now Hermansen. They can't buy a field goal for love nor money at the moment. Slaughter. He'll get the better of Steinarsson. Oh, that's quality from Slaughter, all on his own. Now Steinarsson. The transition.
Yet again, another missed three-pointer. It's going to be an awful long week for Iceland. You're an undersized team. You're going to have to be able to shoot the ball. They can't accept shooting below 30% from the perimeter if they're expecting to win games here in Helsinki.
Hermansen takes a seat. He's the second highest scorer in the game for Iceland. 12 points. Halko Palsson, more than 20 points 2 days ago against Greece. Just the 1 point for him so far. And again, fails to rattle in. Karnovsky into Zamoyski, puts one up. Offensive rebound for Ermolinski. Gets past Sell as if he wasn't even there. Stephenson. There's a low pass to Larson, but the handling's not there for Iceland at the moment.
Poland looking comfortable at the moment on both ends of the floor. They don't seem to be having to operate in top gear anymore. And to compound the situation, Stephenson has just been given a technical foul for talking back to the officials. I think Coach Pedersen's face there says it all.
The last thing that Iceland needed was just under a minute left of the third quarter.
It's always interesting to see a team's reaction when one of their teammates gets a technical. Often coaches use it as a way of inspiring their team and getting some fight, particularly in situations like this. Let's see how Iceland react.
Kielo to Zamoyski. Punts out the pass for AJ Slaughter. Vaczynski getting into the lane and throwing up a hook. It's not going to count though. Offensive foul call.
I'll wait to see the replay. I'm not too sure I saw that one. Vaczynski just wants to ask the question. Let's watch the replay. Does he extend the elbow? Oh, ever so slightly. It looks like a natural movement in his running. I think it's valid for him to feel hard done by, but I can see why the official calls it.
Vaczynski going to be shoved down after that. He reached 3 personal fouls. Michał Sokolowski comes on in his stead. Halko Palsson. Sokolowski right into the action straight away. Poland looking quite comfortable. Lead by 20. Not much time left in this quarter. For 3. Good. Przemysław Zamoyski. His first points of the night, believe it or not. Good follow from Hynarsian, but he can't quite rattle in. And Poland in good shape at the end of 3 quarters. They've extended their advantage since half-time. Poland 60, Iceland 37 at the end of the 3rd quarter.
As we've discussed, it's clear to see where Iceland are struggling, both at the free throw line and from the perimeter. Just 3 from 12, 25%. An undersized team aren't going to win many games shooting that kind of percentage from the perimeter. It's a prime example of what Iceland need to do. Quick ball movement and a penetrating drive towards the basket. That's how they'll get their points in this game.
Well, Iceland certainly have had their moments in this game, but it's going to take something seriously special to overturn a 23-point deficit. Mike Taylor's Poland they've impressed us.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a tough opening game, which they played well in, to give them their credit, and they've absolutely carried on that form and more today. Although there was moments early on where Iceland seemed to get out to the races early and get a good start, Poland quickly pegged them back and have been in control for much of the game.
Captain Byrington's back in now. And 3 personal fouls. One of the reasons I think that he came out of game and Gunnarsson was in. Here's Karnowski, and he banks one in for 2.
This was a similar ploy that Poland put in place for their first game. Kind of held Karnowski back for the later stages of the game when the opposing bigs were tired.
Oh, what a good pass that is. That's more like it from Iceland. Alko Paulsen.
Great feed by Gunnarsson there to the open Paulsen.
Lovely assist from Gunnarsson. We've seen very little of him in the game. Karnowski has it ripped from it. Good defense from Stephenson. Stephenson for 3. Very, very nearly. Slaughter. All in his own again, taking on Byrington. Getting the foul, but not the score.
Your heart has to go out for Byrington. So 1 minute he's guarding Karnowski, who's punishing him, and then he's asked to guard a guy that can just fly by him. Neither assignment is what Byrington wants to be given on the defensive end. But that said, the Icelandic captain relishes the opportunity to work hard for his country.
Poland are doing the basics very well. 19 out of 20 from the free throw line. This is Ægir Steinarsson. And Gunnarsson, that's good.
That's a big shot from Gunnarsson. That's a good call by the referee. Not a popular one in the arena, but it's the right call. Gunnarsson trying to get across the screen. The only call maybe that he could have given as a yellow with the illegal pick, but he didn't.
Zamoyski into Przemek Karnowski. Opts for the pass out to Sokolowski, who rims out. Steinarsson to Stephenson, now Byrington. Quick passing from Iceland. We're averaging just 30% from the field. Slaughter.
Byrington still having to battle hard under the basket. Karnowski establishing himself way down low. It's a tough one for Byrington. What does he do? Does he try and front the big man? But the big man's going to push him out. And that's his 5th foul for Byrington. So that's the last we'll see of him in today's game.
Christopher Acox is going to come on in place of him. And the ringing changes here, Iceland.
Interesting that we haven't seen more of Acox. He had 7 points and 3 rebounds in just 11.7 minutes of action in the first game. Seemed to have a reasonably good game. and is quite a body as well, able to help out in the low post defence.
Well, he's got just under 8 minutes left to impress in the fourth quarter. He can become undroppable for the next game. Here's AJ Slaughter for Poland, given a little bit of space, puts up a jump shot. The iron's on his friend there. Martin Hermansson. Alcor Paulsen. Slaughter there to mop up. There he goes, Slaughter into the lane and then back out to Karanovsky, and it's crunched his toes.
It's the last place that a guy that size wants the ball on his shoelaces. It's an awful long way down to grab what was an absolute bullet pass from Slaughter. This is the weakness on Slaughter's game. Maybe a little bit too hot-headed, trying to make the play too quick, too dynamic, rather than having some patience on the offensive end.
Acox. Pass in. Oh, that's a lovely pass from Wilhelmsen. Acox can't finish the job. Karanovsky, bit of a mismatch. Pretty much anyone he comes up against. Iceland don't feel like they're getting the rub of the green at the moment. Let's have a look at this again closely.
For me, I think it did come off Karanovsky. I think that's a fair shout from the Icelandic crowd.
Giello lays it up and in, and Poland keep on increasing their lead.
It's becoming a bit of a masterclass from Poland at the moment.
Hermansson, that's more like it. 16 points for Hermansson. His stock will be going up. Here's Karanovsky. Giello again, fresh from an excellent last shot. Zamoyski kept at bay by Acox. Giello again for three. Good!
With leads like this, it's such a benefit for a coach like Coach Taylor now. He can run different rotations. He can explore how his teams work together.
Wilhelmsen responds with one from range.
Really do some great preparation work for later games.
Slaughter getting around the back and laying it up and in off the glass.
Entered an absolute run and gun phase of the game.
They've adapted their game well today, Poland, to face this Icelandic team. It'll be a whole different ball game against Finland tomorrow. And probably not a bad game to prepare them for this, both in terms of confidence and also in terms of the crowd. They'll be certainly up against it, playing against the hosts. Slaughter. First time we've seen Karol Gruszecki today. Here's Acox! Slaughter. 5 minutes left of the final quarter here. Slaughter moving so quickly, left the ball behind before drawing a foul from Paulsen, who's now one foul away from being fouled out of the game as well.
Acox showing there exactly how they needed to play defence against the Polish bigs. Again, as I said, very surprised we didn't see him earlier in the game. I think he absolutely has a different dimension to bring for Iceland.
Timeout called by Iceland.
Keep fucking fighting your ass off. Hey. Huh? Fight your fucking ass off. Hey, listen. Let me point that. Listen, we're either going to run 4, or if we
run horn with Christo and Trixie. Pop it in, get it, flare him. If it goes to Christo, follow to this guy.
That ball's in the post. Ball side flare. His man's going down. Ball side flare and slip. Wide open. Now, right here is Zipper. 14, yellow. Zipper. Center pick and pop. It's short action, okay? Play hard till the end. Play hard till the end.
Intense timeouts there from both sides.
Yeah, you don't get the impression it's foot off the gas for Poland.
Nor Iceland. Both teams there absolutely determined to take it all the way to the final buzzer.
Sokolowski inbounds. Slorchet to Giello. First trip to the line. Michał Sokolowski.
The Icelandic clap seems to be working again there, putting Sokolowski off at the line. Great support from the Icelandic fans.
Absolutely incredible.
Interesting decision from the referee. He's called an unsportsmanlike foul on Acox.
I didn't see what he did there, Acox.
Must have been holding. I didn't see it, but he must have been holding in the free-throw lineup. Slaughter will go to the line for two, and Poland will get the possession at the side.
Another good day for AJ Slaughter, who didn't start, but played the majority of the game for the Białe Czerwone. Giello to Sokolowski into Przemek Karnowski. Oh, good pass, what vision and execution, and finished off the glass by Michał Sokolowski.
Beautiful patience there by Karnowski. Didn't rush, waited for the cut, waited for the right time to make the pass.
Wilhelmsen, the no-look pass. Now Hermansen taking on Giello, getting to the edge of the paint before being disturbed. And then Sokolowski loses possession for Poland. Craig Pedersen will want to see lots of fight from his team in the last 4 minutes or so. Wilhelmsen.
How many times have we seen that tonight for Iceland? The ball seemingly in the basket, and then the iron just denying it as it bounces out.
Slorchet to Giello. Karnowski, shot clock down into single digits. Karnowski, yes, very good.
Both teams now benefiting from the situation with the gap, using different rotations, giving players that didn't get minutes in the first game more minutes on the court. This will all be beneficial for both teams.
Oh, alley-oop pass, and it goes eventually for Tryggvi Hlinarsson.
Absolutely beneficial for both teams when they get to the latter stages of the tournament. The entire 12 men on the roster have got some minutes under their belt.
Giello. Karnowski is going to enjoy this little tussle with Hlinarsson. That's what Karnowski's all about. Hermansen. Wilhelmsen back to Hermansen for three.
Wilhelmsen's been his usual nuisance all day for Poland, no matter what the score or what the situation. Wilhelmsen seems to be in the mix of things as he goes to the bench. He's got an interesting professional season ahead of him next year. Signed to play in Kazakhstan.
Fredriksson out to Ermolinski, and it's an air ball.
I think if there was a play maybe to sum up Iceland's day, that was it. Absolutely nothing going their way. Coach Pedersen at the moment, hands across his face in disbelief at how they've played. Biggest task I think he's probably got overnight is going to get his guys to forget today. It never happened. Let's never talk about it again, and let's move on.
And it doesn't get any easier for them. They're taking on France tomorrow. Fredriksson. Oh, that's a lovely pass. Yes, very good from Iceland. Christopher Acox banks it in. And that might be the highlight moment for Iceland from this game.
Absolutely beautiful no-look pass by the guard in full flow.
Sokolovski, Korsharek, good pass, wide open, good from the corner from Karol Gruszecki.
Yeah, you can't leave Gruszecki open. It's a easy shot for him to make.
Elvir Fredriksson to Tryggvi Hlinarsson. Good work by Fredriksson. Again, looking for the combination with Acox that worked so nicely just moments ago, but not that time. Korsharek to Gruszecki, this time comes inside after faking for the three and was fouled in the process. Gruszecki coming in late in the game and reminding Mike Taylor of his talents. A point of game for him as Karnowski takes his seat, having done his job well. And Adam Przaniak, the only player in the Polish roster yet to score, comes on for the final minute and a half. And Malinski's pass is a good one, and from the corner was Brynjar Bjornsson. Giello, Sokolovski takes the contact and will go to the line.
It's interesting to see as well when you look down the box score for Poland. 10 of their 12 players have played double-digit minutes and not one of them's played over 30 minutes. That really shows Coach Taylor working hard, keeping his rotations nice and strong, making sure that everyone in the team is getting some time on court.
Poland getting their EuroBasket 2017 back on track. They played well, despite defeat to Slovenia on game day one. From way downtown, oh, good!
Welcome to EuroBasket, Mr. Bjornsson. Big three.
Korsharek gets it back from Sokolovski, goes to the basket with a beauty from long range. Bjornsson to Hlinarsson. Yep, gets it and puts it up and in. That's what they want to see from Tryggvi Hlinarsson. Drew the foul in the process, so he'll get a trip to the line for the extra.
It'll be interesting to see in the future games whether Hlinarsson actually gets more minutes and plays a bigger role earlier in the game than he has in the first two games. He's absolutely shown glimmers of the difference he could potentially make to the Iceland team.
It's been a high-scoring final quarter, 50 points and counting. Sokolovski to Giello, and now Gruszecki loves a three-point shot. This one doesn't quite fall, but oh, good hustle from Korsharek to win possession back and then find the pass for Tsaniak, a mid-range two, drained.
And that's your final player on the box score now. Every Polish player scored.
That is quite something from Poland. More than 30 points in the fourth quarter as well. Another one from way outside, and Iceland are showing they can shoot from range after all.
Where have they been keeping this sharpshooter? Bjornsson with a second triple.
From miles out of the perimeter as well. And the players will shake hands. Poland with a resounding win over Iceland. They are back on track at EuroBasket 2017. Mike Taylor shakes the hand of Craig Pedersen. He will be delighted with this performance from Poland. They were left just short of Slovenia's quality in that first game, but they're back with a bang. It's finished in this Group A encounter. Poland 91, Iceland 61. There's the president of Iceland, Mr. Johannesson. One of the many hundreds of Icelandic supporters here at the Helsinki arena who have been tireless in their support. The Polish team gather for a huddle. The Icelandic team are at the same time saluting their support, which has been mightily impressive again, and they'll be back, I'm sure, tomorrow to see the game against France.
And looking at those stats, I think there's the tail of the game. It's only with the help of Bjornsson's 2 threes at the back end of the game that made their three-point percentage shooting look respectable. But you look at the free throw situation, Poland 28 to just 12 for Iceland. And as we said beforehand, the battle of the boards tells you everything you need to know as Poland dominate that side of things. Poland, again, using their height advantage, 5 blocks to 1. A tough day at the office for Iceland, I think, is the easiest way to sum that up. They'll look to dust themselves down, and obviously a big game for them tomorrow when they take on France. And they'll be hoping for Paulsen to be back in form as he struggled today. Wilhelmsson leading the scoring from Iceland.
And a word about the high scorer for Poland, Adam Wyszynski, the captain. He led the way today with 15 points.
It's a big night. It's a big night for him, and Poland will be happy with their performance. Iceland back to the drawing board, see if they can hit the reset button and come back strong against France, while Poland have got the interesting game taking on Finland here at the Helsinki arena.
So Iceland go 0-2, still looking for their first ever win in EuroBasket. Poland get back on track. They have their first win of EuroBasket 2017. It's finished in Group A, Poland 91, Iceland 61.
c'est l'avant-dernier, mardi. Mardi, mercredi. Ouais, Slovénie.